From birth, we were very much 5 weeks old, didn't really know too much, or my parents didn't really know too much about CF at that time. I kind of came out of hospital, and it was then that I deteriorated quite quickly as a child, like losing a lot of weight, not necessarily struggling to breathe, but catching a lot of chest infections. And it was then when coming back in for more tests is when mum and dad kind of found out about cystic fibrosis. And then moving forward kind of into early childhood, I was always always pretty well as a child. Cricket and other sports kept me active. Fast forward into school period and GCSE years. GCSEs were, or I planned, thought I was prepared for them. However, got to that stage and I fell really poorly. Had pneumonia, meaning I only did, I think it was my art and PE exam. 2016, I had my first collapsed lung, which I suffered on a Saturday. Remember it clear as anything. I just felt something tight go in my chest. At the time, didn't really think much of it because I'd had nerves going in between rib cages and tight chest before. Actually played cricket on the Sunday, where I knew something was drastically wrong. Later that day, went to Telford A&E, where they x-rayed it and realised that, yeah, I'd punctured a lung, and not only had I punctured it, it was completely not showing on the x-ray. It was like a tiny little dot at the bottom of my cavity in the lining of the rib cage. So, and then not long after, I was rushed or taken by ambulance straight over to Liverpool Heart and Chest, where I remained for about 3-4 weeks, I think it was. 2019, I actually spent roughly around 22 weeks in hospital across the year, and it was then when I suffered my second punctured lung, or collapsed lung. This time I knew that things were very different. It wasn't like the first collapsed lung where it was almost like it came down slowly. This one was straight away. This was when I found like my spiro had gone down to like 18%, and was the worst. That was like my lowest of spiro I'd ever blown. But yeah, this time was very different because I knew that my health over that year had deteriorated quite quickly. Everything seemed to be not going in the direction it should have been going, and health, I was just not picking up. If I was getting a cold, little things like that, I was just not picking up from it or not recovering. And yeah, I just found myself in hospital an awful lot of time. 2020, I was an inpatient again when Dr. Walshaw and the whole CF team, from dietitians, pharmacists, physio, like literally all the CF nurses, the whole team came into my room as what was meant to be just an average Friday morning ward round. And it was then that he came in, and I could see that people or part of the team were a little bit emotional. And even then I was like, what's going on? Is everyone okay? And it was then when Dr. Walsh said, like, we'd done it. I was just like, what have we done? Like, it's not something that I was ever expecting to happen pretty much in my lifetime. And yeah, we'd got like a year's trial, I think, of Kaftrio. I started the drug on, I think, well, there and then on that Friday morning. The Saturday, I coughed an awful amount of mucus. I think the sputum pots that we used to get given as an inpatient, I think I filled one of those. Never experienced anything like that. But yeah, it's just been a complete life changer. I felt that coming out of hospital, I was actually able to start living life instead of just surviving it or just working my life out until my next hospital admission. I could actually plan some form of future. Back on to the hospital, like, they've given me a new lease of life. The memories that I have here at Liverpool Heart and Chest is incredible.